Welcome to video number 5 of the SID-Refresh, which will show you the Windows version of the export-import using the GUI. We're on a Windows platform on this system, for example, called NSP. So you logged in as SID-ADM and you've downloaded the SID-Refresh.jar file. You want to navigate out to the command prompt. Make sure R3 trans is accessible and connected to the database. So this is the system you're going to export out the data to save the technical configuration prior to your system refresh database activities. So here we'll adjust the R3 trans number of processes to be used for the export. We double check that the export directory is specified. If not, you can create a directory so that other subdirectories will be officially included for the configurations that we will export to. Once you've selected what you want, you can either save the configuration or you can start exporting right away. So after you uncheck what you don't want, you are ready to export, or you can choose to save the configuration so that if you do the command line interface later on, you can specify that and it will do exactly what you've done the first time when you did it via the GUI. Except in command line mode, we can batch it and automate the whole process. Alright, starting that, we'll start the R3 trans export. As you can notice from the task manager, the resource manager shows that the system is now currently exporting, kicking off R3 trans processes. And just like that, the export is finished. Here we can go and take a look at the directory where we have the export. There should be an export log file as well. Take a look at that SID-Refresh export log file. Here we can see that the export showing the number of threads, the tables that were exported, and the total runtime for each of those, as well as the return code. Okay, so now we've done an export of the what's supposed to be the QA system that you're going to override with a database copy. We're ready to jump over and take a look at the import procedure. So here on the import, again, so this is after you've refreshed the database, SAP is down. You're going to make sure that you have the R3 trans tool still working, connected to the database. Once you verify that, launch the SID-Refresh, and here you're going to navigate to the directory to make sure that you have picked the export directory where we specified before prior to the database refresh. Once we open that, we are then able to click import. Here, all the options for the import that were exported from the configuration that it knows are highlighted. You can select all of them. Only the ones that were exported can be selected. The ones that you did not save, of course, are gray out. So now for the import portion, we're going to also save this config file so that we can use it again in command line mode or batch mode later on. And we can start the process. So the import goes on using the number of parallel trans processes that we specified. Once all the import is done, we should be able to check the log files, verify that the import was successful, and we should be ready to start up the system and verify that our technical configuration in the QA environment has been restored after a database refresh from another environment. Depending on what you save and how big your system is in terms of the configurations you've added, customized, your import time, export time may vary. Typically it takes a little bit longer on the import. There we go. Now we have the pop-up saying the import has completed. As a reminder to also refresh any kind of buffers. Essentially your SAP system's down. You might want to clean IPC. You want to clean the memory on UNIX. But this is Windows, so we don't need to worry about that. So let's go visit the import log. It's also produced in the same directory as we had the export and the data files. Open that with Notepad. Give it a visual over as far as the import to see if there's any errors. Otherwise, the import is complete. And now you've successfully restored the technical configuration of your ABAP system that was stored before the refresh. And then following the database refresh, you have now restored that configuration. You can bring up SAP and continue on with your other tasks like BDOS. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the SID-Refresh automation tool for PCA.